Have you ever encountered a frustrating error in your Java program that just doesn't make sense? If you've seen the message, java.lang.ClassCastException cannot be cast to, you're not alone. Today, we're diving into this common issue and how to resolve it. I totally understand how annoying it can be when your code throws unexpected exceptions. It can feel like you're hitting a brick wall, especially when you're trying to get your project done. You're definitely not the only one facing this challenge. Let's look at a specific case. One user asked, "Why is java.lang.ClassCastException triggered in my program?" They provided a snippet of code where the error occurs when trying to cast an object. Sound familiar? Let's break it down together. So, what exactly is causing this class cast exception? This error typically occurs when you try to cast an object to a class of which it is not an instance. In this case, the query returns a list of objects, but the code expects a specific type. Let's explore how to fix this. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a pro tip that can help you avoid these types of errors in the future. To address the class cast exception, the user should first understand that this error occurs when trying to cast an object to a class of which it is not an instance. In this case, the user is attempting to cast an array of objects to the equip class. Next, the user should check the result of the query. The query returns a list of objects, but it seems the user is expecting a list of equip instances. The user needs to ensure that the query is correctly fetching the data as equip objects. The user should modify the query to return the correct type. Instead of using a native query that returns an array of objects, the user can use a typed query that directly fetches equip instances. Finally, the user should ensure that the mapping between the entities is correctly set up. This includes checking the relationships between equip, checklists, and responses checklists to ensure they are properly defined. Fun fact, did you know that class cast exceptions are one of the most common runtime exceptions in Java? They can happen to anyone, even the most experienced developers. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution provided by a user involves changing the result type of the query. Instead of casting the result directly to a list of equip objects, they suggest using a list of object arrays. This allows you to iterate through each row of the result set, create a new equip object for each row, and populate its fields accordingly. Let's move forward and look at another answer. An alternative solution suggests that the query returns a list of objects, specifically a list of object arrays. To resolve the class cast exception, you can modify your query to return a list of equip objects directly. This can be done using the createNativeQuery method with the equip class as a parameter. If you're using JPA 2.1 or later, consider using school result set mapping to map your SQL results directly to your POJO classes. This allows you to define how the results should be mapped to your entity fields. Here's the pro tip I promised. Always validate your data types before performing operations. This simple habit can save you a lot of headaches down the line. And there you have it. With these steps, you should be able to tackle the class cast exception in your Java program. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe for more tips and tricks on coding.